That's weird. I don't know if you guys heard the song just now. You like my sick visual? See you guys. Forever and then some. It felt weird not hearing the song right away.
I know.
That usually gets me in the zone. Episode 4, season 2. Here we are. We skipped a week because last week was very full of stuff and we were just so freaking tired. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a 2-year-old in our home.
Yes, we do.
Beautiful. Running around being beautiful and crazy. Yep. Also, last episode nobody said anything to me, so but there was definitely a couple episodes now we've been talking about hearing something and not being able to buy new equipment because equipment was clearly going bad. Well, it went bad. It completely stopped working after our last episode. The episode before that, the camera, the video didn't work good and it was glitchy. So yeah, this podcast is so professional, bro. I'm so happy. But we just put out what we got. And I didn't realize how noisy it was in the last episode until I listened to it on the podcast app. Which is, what are you looking at? My forehead?
No.
You look like you're looking.
So you have a hair and I feel like you're going to make mad if I don't correct you.
Thank you, baby.
It needs to go down the other way. It's like hair that usually goes to the side is in the front. Like this. No, your hair that's usually to the side is going in the front. Look at me. Yes, you got it.
I fixed it, guys. We should have looked at each other before this. Well, you just smudged your makeup. So, but yeah, we're recording at 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday.
We're not tired at all.
No, not at all. We didn't just drink and eat Taco Bell at 9:30 at night after having a party that we're going to get into. No. But last weekend, that's 2 parties in a week in a row each weekend. It's been hectic. But yeah, so we had equipment issues last week. We had a baby birthday party. Friday we came home and literally after work was like aggressively cleaning the house and doing laundry and we were just dead. And then Saturday I woke up and mowed the lawn. You woke up and finished cleaning the house, set up decorations, cooking. Your sister came over and helped us. We set up, me and your brother set up a tent. I built 2 grills. We did all this stuff. It was just a crazy weekend. And guess what? Went to church the next day. Didn't skip that, baby, because we love the Lord. But we were tired, so we didn't do the podcast that week. But yeah, the that week last week was very stressful.
Yeah,
because we had this party in our minds. Our baby's turning 2. The moment that we decided to have it at our house, I think we regretted having it at our house, but it went beautiful. I knew it was going to go beautiful, but it was stressful.
Yeah, all week, just hard having that many people in such a tight space.
Yeah, we had
and it's hot outside, so nobody wants to sit outside. Even though we had plenty of space for people to be outside, everybody stayed indoors,
except for the kids.
Which is fine. But it was just.
It was very just so
chaotic.
Stressful and chaotic. But
the baby was asleep on the couch before even getting upstairs, and that doesn't happen often.
Yeah, she was pooped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a picture of
so cute.
I put it on my story.
Yeah.
That's her in her PJs just passed out. But it went amazing. It was so fun. All the kids had fun. So we had a lot of family. My best friend Jesse with his girls. Our friends Matt and Hannah with their son. Our cousin Maddie and Lance with their son. Just so many kids.
Yeah.
It was and then the grown up, the bigger kids, Mariah was here.
Yeah.
Her cousin Ava was here. Her cousin Cruz was here. There was a lot of kids just running around going crazy. Your boy
Adriano, Ariana.
Yeah, everybody was here.
Yeah.
They weren't outside with the kids playing with the kids.
They were. That's what I'm saying. They were all in the house.
Yeah, they're older. But yeah, so many people. I was just counting kids because that's where I was. I was on grill duty. So let me tell you a little bit of something about it. I don't grill very often. So,
was that your first time actually grilling?
Yes, my brother usually grills. I don't know.
You did great.
Thanks, babe. It took a while. I put way too much coal in the grills. So then, and then they were self-starting, air quotes, self-starting coals.
Well, so I found out apparently there's levels to the coals. So self-starting means like you don't have to pour the gasoline in and let the gasoline soak into them. You can just pour the gasoline in and light it. Then there are some that are already have the gasoline in them, and you can literally just light it.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's not what I bought, so that was on me.
Yeah, but it's not though, because I could have read the bag. Because the moment I read the bag, I realized, oh shoot, I need to go get lighter fluid. So me and Jesse went and got lighter fluid. So we didn't eat till later. I felt terrible. Nobody was Nobody in the house was worried about it because there was plenty of snacks and stuff. And it's a bunch of family members who haven't seen each other in a while, so they're like playing catch up and stuff the whole time anyway.
Right.
Nobody was stressed about it but me. But it all went beautiful. We got them burgers and them doggies and them sausages cooked up. They were so good. I was eating hot dogs all week. I literally just ate my last 2 hot dogs on Friday. Or actually, you made chili on Thursday. Yeah. And I brought a hot dog and some chili, and I made a chili dog, which was probably a mistake. But what are you going to do, bro?
You have to leave work early on Friday, too. So
I did.
You know.
Yep.
You didn't have to worry about it too much.
Yep. So now we have a 2-year-old, guys. It's official. I mean, we already had a 2-year-old, but the party's done. The stressful stuff of having
I don't think she was a 2-year-old officially.
The last time we were on the podcast, she wasn't yet. So, but yeah. Yep. 2-year-old running around, being beautiful, being crazy.
Wild and free.
It's just so, like, kids at that age, like, I feel like you can see a difference in them, like, over days. And it was like she turned 2, and then I started seeing new things where she's, like, talking a lot more. Mm-hmm. We're still freaking sleep training this baby. She did great, like, last week. She did amazing.
She did really good last night.
She did great last night. But then there was a couple days, I want to say the week before, sorry. So last week she did really good. This week was a little bit more lackluster. She ended up in the bed a couple times, a lot, almost throughout the whole week.
I kind of last night, I'm not sure if that's what it is, and we'll test it again this coming week, but I feel like she's wanting me. Like, I don't know if she's feeling whatever, what's going on. Mm-hmm. Or she just needed more of me this week or not. Because when I got down there with her, this one night that she stayed down there the whole night. Yeah. I feel like when you were down there with her, which you usually are, and she does stay through the night, I felt like she was always like worried about where mommy.
Yeah, maybe.
So maybe she just needed to go to sleep next to mommy.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe she's, she's a baby, but maybe she's vibing on what's going on.
Yeah.
And so if you've been listening to the podcast the last few episodes, there's been something that we brought up but haven't been able to talk about each time. And I keep thinking we're going to have this episode of talking about this topic, and we can officially talk about it because today we had a gender reveal.
Yeah.
Because we are pregnant again.
Yes.
And we found out today, got the blue cup on deck. We're having a boy.
We're having a boy, yeah.
If you didn't, I don't know if we talked about this, actually. That's kind of crazy. I don't know if we talked about it on the first season of the podcast, but we thought Everly was a boy for like the first we thought Everly was a boy right up until the week of the baby shower.
It was 2 weeks before, but yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I had a name picked out and everything, and then we did this like early blood test. Yeah. Gender tester thing.
Yeah.
It's like 90% accurate. I guess we're the 10%.
Yeah.
Because it was dead wrong. I came back a boy, so we had everything planned out. We had bought everything. Everybody had bought everything, and we had to call and text everybody because, what was it? We had an ultrasound with our actual doctor.
And they couldn't see
anything, and that made us nervous. And then we went and bought who we just went and seen this week, this other awesome ultrasound place right here in Palm Coast.
At First Sight.
It's called At First Sight. Yeah, she's awesome. She remembered us and everything. Yeah. I was like, dang, you see a lot of ladies. I don't know how you remembered us. But so we ended up going to her, and she was like, are you guys talking about, you thought this was a girl?
Yeah.
Or a boy? And we were like, yeah. And she was like, I'm not seeing boy here. So then that's when we had to call everybody. So yeah, we thought we were having a boy originally when we when we were pregnant with Everly. So it was kind of sad to like learn that we weren't having a boy.
Yeah.
I mean, I love my girls.
No, it wasn't sad that we were
like
having a girl. It was sad because you thought you were having this boy. And you had like these thoughts of the boy.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it's almost like you
the
felt
boy's
like
gone. Yeah,
you felt like you were having a different baby.
Yeah,
which you were.
Yeah,
so it's like, so yeah, but I've been wanting to talk about the pregnancy thing now. So you're set 18 weeks, 17 weeks,
18 weeks
on Monday. I guess would
Monday,
be 18 weeks.
Well, we still have to confirm with the doctor. The doctor is putting us at 17 weeks on Monday, and she was the ultrasound tech was saying that she was reading, which the ultrasound tech at the other place said last time we went, whatever would be at 17 weeks right now,
right,
or 16 weeks right now, and she was saying we were looking like 17 weeks to her,
right.
So, but last time she also thought we were further along than they said, and
both times that we've gone to both our doctor then this ultrasound person, they've both been like, where are you actually at?
Right.
So but yeah, I've been wanting to talk about it so bad. Of like, we told a lot of people, most of our personal people, but I think a lot of people on Facebook and Instagram and stuff are just now learning like today.
Yeah.
And my phone was going crazy when we posted.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been pregnant.
5 months.
Tiffany's been pregnant for 5 months, and it's just been. We were like, I felt like it was a boy because you feel like it's a different pregnancy.
Yeah, it's completely
way different.
Yeah.
Like it just feels different. It also like we were just talking about this in the car on the way to T-Bell. It just like I feel a lot less worried.
Yeah.
And stressed, and like I'm just ready to get going.
I think I'm more stressed this time around.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't know. But I also have felt like
you also have things going on with your body you didn't have going on last time.
Right.
You're in more pain.
For sure. And I just feel like emotionally this pregnancy has been different.
Yeah.
Like neither one of the girls I don't think affected me emotionally so much. They did, like I was super sensitive, like I would cry in like movies like Spider-Man when Peter's uncle died. Yeah. Like I bawled as I hadn't seen it 1,002 times. Right. And so like, you know, you're a little bit more emotional. Like I've been having like mood swings, I feel like a little bit. So what was I leading to with that?
Hey, pregnancy brain. I just think it's a different pregnancy.
Yeah. So I think like I'm like more anxious a little bit this time around. Definitely. And I think it just has to do with the pregnancy. Because this is the third baby for me. I'm like, I should be all right, but I'm a little bit like, ooh.
You're more worried this time?
I think I'm more worried this time because it's like a toddler and a newborn.
Yeah.
And like before, I wasn't nervous about that because Mariah was older. 12.
Yeah.
And, then, having a newborn. And I was really nervous about sleep the last time around.
This time you're not so nervous about sleep, but you're not having it.
Yeah, but Mariah like was really tough at night. She woke up like every hour on the hour for a bottle for like a year. So there was like no like consistent sleep. I was constantly waking up.
Yeah.
Everly has not been like that.
Yeah, Everly's a pretty good sleeper.
Yeah.
Dang, I haven't thought about sleep though. How this baby's gonna be?
How could it be different? Yeah. But I mean,
I feel like
you always find a way to push through when you're looking at that baby.
Yeah.
So
I honestly,
I do want a mini fridge in my room this time.
Right. Yeah, we got to get one. I don't feel that nervous. Yeah. I don't really feel too nervous about having two little ones.
Yeah. I don't know if it's nervous. It's just like
I think I was more nervous for
anxious.
Everly.
Like, how's it going to be? I just want to know how it's going to be now.
I was definitely more nervous for Everly just because it was my first round with a baby.
Yeah.
Now that I like realized that I stressed out about all the things you don't really need to stress about, and I got Jesus on my side. That was BC Brian. You know what I'm saying? Right. But I just like don't have any stress or anxiety about it. Also, every single day I pray. I'm usually like asking to lift me of those things normally in a normal day setting. So maybe he's lifting it for our pregnancy too.
Right.
You getting teary-eyed right now?
No.
I think so. Yeah, I haven't really felt much stress because I stressed so much with the baby at first.
Yeah.
Everly at first and once we got in a groove of things, I was like, I was stressing for no reason.
Yeah.
Like,
I was nervous. Honestly, I don't think I've told you. I was not nervous because I didn't think that you would keep her safe or anything. I was nervous leaving her at home with you the first like week.
Yeah.
Because I was so nervous about how you were gonna handle like the first blowout by yourself, or like the first like
the hardest thing of my days in those times were the hour and a half that I had to pick Mariah up from school.
Yeah.
That was the most stressful time. Once that was over and I was home, I was good.
Right.
And that's not going to be happening
no.
this pregnancy because now the new schedule at work, it's different now. I picked them both up so it's a 15-minute ride home.
Right.
It's not, I don't know. I'm not really that stressed out. I know that it's going to get overwhelming because Everly right now is a handful, but she also like is a great baby.
Oh, she's fantastic.
She you can sit on the couch and chill while she like plays, and she'll come to you and go and play herself. Or she's like, yes, she gets into everything when you're trying to do stuff, but it's like it's really like
she's great at
she keeps herself entertained. And then it's like she's fun to play with too.
I can't remember what I'm trying to say. Like she's good at like by herself play.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Mariah wasn't.
She wanted to be up on.
She needed somebody to play with, which is fine. But yeah, Everly is very much like she reminds me of Dalton a lot when Dalton was a baby, and even like up until he was like a older toddler kid, he could play by himself the whole day and not like worry about.
I think that comes from me a little bit.
Were you like that too?
Yeah, I mean, I was an only child.
Yeah, but like friends in the neighborhood. I mean,
I definitely had friends. Well, not her age, but
I guess not.
But I guess I wouldn't remember her age, but I felt like my mom always talked about me being pretty tame and to myself.
Mariah at Everly's age, like she needs you to come play with her.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how this little guy is gonna be.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like super stoked. I was okay with having another girl.
That's the thing. So before we got pregnant, and even like in the beginning of the pregnancy,
I wanted a boy.
We've always did you?
Yeah, at first, yeah. We both wanted.
Not with Everly.
Yeah,
I'm talking about this pregnancy. No,
I didn't. No, this pregnancy, I didn't even think about it.
I'm saying this pregnancy, but after Everly, you were like, "I'm a girl dad. If we have another baby, it's gonna be a girl." I fell in love
with that little girl.
Yeah, your mom and everybody said we're gonna be the ones with the girls.
Yeah, yeah.
Lex and Kyle to be the ones with the boys.
Yeah.
And that's just, and it's kind of like, okay, maybe so. That's what it. So like when I got pregnant, I kind of already put it in my head that it's probably a girl.
Right.
But then the pregnancy has been so different.
Yep.
And
we've all
like, and Everly, I couldn't. When I was pregnant with Everly, I couldn't. Like, had no clue, girl, boy. I didn't have a feeling to either way it was going to be because it had been so long since I had been pregnant.
Yeah.
With Mariah. So this time around, with it being so different, like I've not been sick once.
Yeah, no
like
you've dealt more with your hernia and stuff than you have with pregnancy. I feel like, like pregnancy might be like making your hernia pain worse and stuff, but like you've dealt more with what you're going through physically than you have with your pregnancy.
Yeah, the only tough part about this pregnancy is having a hernia, and it's my physically it hurts so bad. Like. I don't want to make it seem like I'm like over here whining, but like it is literally the worst pain in the world. And I don't think people realize it. I don't all the time think people at work realize it and they like kind of like roll their eyes at me and it sucks. But it's like, it's so painful. Like all I want to do is sit down and like curl my body into like a ball when it's hurting because it just hurts your whole body. It hurts my back. It hurts my legs. It hurts.
The way it hurts your stomach, you're like over compensating different positions in the way you walk, the way you move, the way you sleep. Now you can't sleep comfortably because you're not supposed to sleep certain ways.
Right.
With a being pregnant, and you're trying to overcompensate.
The best way for me to sleep for my hernia is on my back, and I can't sleep on my back.
You're pregnant.
Yeah.
So yeah, but So yeah, it's been like a challenging thing
it's
for
been
you.
worse because of that this time around physically.
Right.
I felt physical with Everly. I would say I said like around 7 months probably when my belly really started to like show the extra weight and everything. I had a lot of bad sciatic pain and stuff like that, and pelvic, a lot of pressure in my pelvic area. But I already feel all that at 5 months. I'm like, ooh,
scary.
It is very scary. It's scary because it's my hernia, and like I've already been overcompensating with my pelvis and my back. So it's a little intimidating with that. But as far as that goes, like from not being sick at all this time and me emotionally feeling different, I immediately thought it was a boy. And I was like, but most likely it's a girl, and I'm psyching myself out. Right. So I really didn't care this time around. I really wanted a boy when I was pregnant with Everly, and then, of course, like after it sunk in that we were having a girl, I was so happy. And when she came into this world, I was just like,
yeah, that's amazing. I love her.
Exactly who you're supposed to be.
Right now, I know that it's a boy. I'm so excited that the boy, like our son, is going to have a big sister over having like a big brother. Yeah, I just feel like men that are raised around more women become stronger men for some reason. Like
I think there's a nice compromise in between it, like of being like some men that are raised around too much women, they don't usually have like they're not as like
masculinity.
And which is not a bad thing.
No.
But I think with him he has so many women around him, and then also
so many great men.
Yeah, like I couldn't imagine any balance, really.
I mean, yeah, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for them. I don't know.
I thought I was gonna sneeze.
I think that like part of being a man is how you treat women.
For sure.
And I think that a man that is raised in a home that his comfort person is a girl, maybe.
Yeah.
That's an older sister, like an older sibling. That could kind of be nice. You know not to be a douche.
Right.
And I mean, he's being raised from us, so he wouldn't end up that way anyway. But it's like,
no, I mean, we're very lucky that our kids are growing up in a house full of love.
Oh yeah,
and that's
all around.
That's not something that
not everybody has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just changes them and the way they feel and the way they grow up alone and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
excited
to see how to have
Everly,
a boy love me. Like the girls love their daddy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm definitely it feels like me and like us and Everly are gonna like strap on our, you know what I'm saying, and get in there and raise our little boy to get like help raise our, I don't know. I'm excited to see how she is with the baby. I'm excited to see how she is as a big sister because Mariah's amazing.
Oh, and Mariah's so excited much love. This is a boy.
Yeah, everybody was excited, but Mariah is stoked.
Yeah.
And here's my yawning. It's only freaking 10 o'clock, dude.
We're old.
We're so 30. We're in the mid 30s. Yeah, it's exciting. It's everything's just like, it's so beautiful.
It is, yeah.
You step back and it's like, I don't know. I've been like I said, when I pray in the morning and when I pray throughout the day, it is to like lift what I was having trouble with a few weeks ago when we were talking. And it's like, I haven't felt those feelings, and that's great. And all I feel is just excitement and gratitude for what we've got going on. And we really grateful, dude.
I can't think of the song that I'm thinking of, but like, I can't think of how exactly
Christian song.
No, it is, but it's not like a worship song. It's pretty much something I prayed for this, you know, and it's actually really big on TikTok. I can't think of it, but it's just like sitting in the moment, sitting and looking at the picture, and thinking back when you used to pray for this.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
I mean, I posted something on Facebook about this recently. It was like you have the life. Think about the fact that you have the life that you were praying for a couple of years ago. Right?
Yeah, I have a better life than what I was praying for.
Right.
You know, I prayed for a dad to come in and love Mariah the way she deserved, and I prayed for a husband that would love me the way I deserved, and I got that, and I didn't plan on having any more kids.
Right.
And now I have another beautiful little girl that I love.
Right.
With all my heart. And I'm having a little boy that,
a little guy, dude.
if he's like half the man that his dad is going to be an amazing man. So
I think he'll be better. You know?
Yeah.
He's being raised by a lot of beautiful people. Yeah. It's just so good. Don't make me cry, dude. We can't both be crying. One of us has got to keep it under composure here.
It won't be me.
I know. It's we're so blessed. It's crazy, dude. It's just little guy, little Landon.
Yep.
Landon Dean Hefner. Crazy.
Strong name.
Strong name. I can't wait to see what he's like and who he is, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see how my beautiful baby girls like.
I know. I can't wait for that little first like moment with the three of them.
Oh, our Christmas pictures are gonna be so much more lit. And it's just like, I don't know. I'm a dude, like I'm a guy, so it's like, and I have girls. It's like there's things that you teach your girls, but there's also things I cannot wait to experience with a son.
I actually saw this video the other day, and it was saying like great dads to boys. You know, they realize like the small things that they do with their son more than anything impacts them. Like there's boys that never was able to hop in their dad's car and go to Home Depot and like pick out stuff. And he was like, you don't understand how much like you doing those little things where you're including them in your day and you're asking them to go grab you a tool. Are you doing that? And those little tiny things that build them to be a man, to do the same things, even if you're not like this huge handyman, but that simple, like you have to go change like I don't know, something simple like your wife is sending you to go get nails to put a picture in the wall, and like, all right, hop in the car, let's go to Home Depot, let's do this for mom. And you have that little boy moment where you're taking them into, you know, this hardware store or Aces or whatever it is. He explained it a little bit more in depth than that, but like he was just saying those moments of like being a man with dad are so impactful.
When you're raising a girl, you're raising, like, as a dad, you're raising a girl, but you're trying to be the man that she does. Like, you're trying to show her how men are supposed to be. But then when you're raising a boy, you're trying to teach them to be the man that
some girl deserves.
Your older sister would deserve.
Right.
It's I'm excited. I'm emotional. Little, making me cry. Jeez. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. Our family is growing. This is it, though. Knocking on wood. This is our last kid.
Unless we win the lottery.
Everything that anything we could be nervous about will be worked out.
Yeah.
You know, God's got a plan. We deserved this. He would not give us this if we couldn't handle it.
Right.
And I think it comes at a perfect time where we're taking him more serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm excited to be raising children the way that we're going to be raising our children, the way that we're trying to raise Mariah, the way that we're raising the baby. We literally, I pray with the baby every night, more than, I mean, I just try and do it as much as I can, whether she knows what's going on or not. But I literally got her in the groove of saying amen at the end of our prayer. And like, just those little things, like, just like what you said with the raising a boy, like doing little things with their dad. I want to make sure we're implementing those little things with her.
Yeah.
We're
just kids. Like, teaching. I mean, what you're doing is, even though she doesn't know what's going on, you're teaching her how to pray and how to have that open conversation with God. That
relationship. So when it comes time for her to have her own thoughts, she is knowing that.
Because I'm sure, I mean, you know, as becoming a new Christian, like I've always, like, I can remember my I called her my mammy, but most of my cousins called her Grammy. I remember the moment she taught me how to pray.
Yeah.
And I was older, and we had always went to church. I mean, not older. I was probably like 7.
Right.
And I remember sitting on their back patio, and they had like the swing inside there.
Yeah.
And sitting on there, and she was singing a gospel song. And at the end of it, you know, she said, "Thank you, God," and and I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "I'm praying." I said, "Why do you pray?" And she told me why she prayed. And then she told me a little bit more about God, and I just remember laying there and her having that conversation with me, and I was laying on her lap and her playing in my hair, and that being just such like a sweet moment to have.
Yeah.
And I really will look back at the time of us in our bedroom at night praying. And she might not remember it now, but there's going to come a point in time where, like, I don't know if that's the first time she talked about it. But that's the point in time that I remember.
Right.
That first like conversation about God that really set and touched and sunk in. So one of those nightly prayers is going to become that for her, and it's sweet because when you think back to knowing that moment where you really kind of took in and understood who God was and how to conversate with him, because it's always awkward at first, and nobody like explains how awkward it is to sit there and pray at the first time when you're not in a time of need. It's so easy to pray when you're in a time of need. But like that first conversation where you're praying, but you're also just being very grateful and giving thanks and stuff and just talking to him can be awkward because you're like in your head a little bit at the same time. Like,
it's new to me.
So
it's brand new. Like you're saying, you have those memories. I don't have that. I'm excited to implement those things because it is so new to me, and it is so like.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so uplifting to me now that it's like I'm trying to like everything I do. I'm trying to do in.
Yeah, you're giving her that faith, though. Yeah, because I didn't
have that, and I feel like I was lost, and like wasn't grounded for so long. And now I feel grounded, and it's like anytime that I'm slipping, like no matter what, you're always going to feel like you're not doing good enough, or because we're humans, we're not perfect. Mm-hmm. So it's like anytime that I feel like it's slipping, I try and grab back onto it and like really stick it out. Even in days where you're like, I don't feel like praying this morning, still do it.
Right.
And I feel amazing. And I'm just very happy to be raising children to be a normal thing. I like it's a good thing.
It can always be easy to slip out of it, but I truly believe, and I've been noticing it a lot lately too, because I don't think we're ever slipping out of it, because we're always we're trying to be super consistent, and we're always like being mindful of it and trying to like immerse ourselves more into God and to, experience that full bodily and like change. You kind of have to change the way you think a little bit,
100%,
and the way you feel about certain things. Yeah, and it's like right now, because we are so new into it and coming back to faith for me, and you being so new,
to it,
like
baby.
Unfortunately, right now is probably when we're being attacked the most by the devil, and 100%. Like everything that we have done in our past and other things that we're still fighting with today is like something that he will kind of constantly throw our way, and it does make it not hard, because I haven't had a day where I'm like, I don't think I can do this anymore, and this is not
right.
I've never had that feeling, but it's just right now is when it's testing the most.
Yeah.
And you'll always have tests, and you'll always have your trials and tribulations, but
for sure
he is definitely
he's got
trying to work his hardest right now, because he doesn't want to lose another.
I've been having this decision that I'm not trying to make in my head, but you know where I'm going. Where do we always go? Music. I'm an artist, I'm a singer. My worship has been like the most amazing thing. And this juggle I've been kind of having with myself that I've letting go recently of is, like I said in the last episode, I've had trouble molding those things together. It felt like the ego, musician, me. It needs to be about my art. The stories need to be about my life. I was separating that from God. And my thought in the last month or a few weeks or whatever it's been since we had that conversation have been, what does it look like bringing God into this? And for a minute, it's like, do I want to be an artist who's Christian? Do I want to be a Christian artist? But at the end of the day, it's like, I'm a singer, a songwriter who's a Christian.
Right.
So if I'm trying to not put God in my music, then how Christian am I?
Right.
And
he should be with everything that we do.
He should be in everything I do. And I'm like had this label on it where it was like, I want to make country music. But I don't want to be a Christian artist. And then at the end of the day, it's like, I'm an artist that's a Christian.
Right.
So like, I'm going to implement it into my music. You know what I mean? It's like, don't fight it. Just like you didn't fight him in your life. If this is what you love and you felt like this is like a gift he gave me, then why? Like I was worried about like, does he want me to be an artist that pushes him? You know what I mean? Like that sings about him. And it's like, duh.
Right.
He gave you the gift and you're on stage singing someone else's song about him. Why wouldn't he want you to write songs to bring people to him?
Right.
Does every song need to be about Jesus? No, but I think every song needs to have him sprinkled in.
Right.
So, yeah, that's something I've been like thinking a lot about. I wrote a song the other day.
Yeah, I don't think at this point you've been thinking about it. I think you're just
it's just like
going
feeling
into
it. Yeah. It's like I just been feeling it.
Yeah.
And
no, yeah, I totally
it's
agree.
honestly like I've for the last few weeks, like other than writing about you and the kids, it's like, what do I write about? Like, I want to be an artist. I love country music. What do they sing about? So I try and write a song that's like disingenuine because it's not what I do.
Right.
But then it's like when I write a song about God, it flows out of me like it's not like it's supposed to.
Right.
And it feels natural. I was like, okay, well, there you go, bud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just do, I don't know. It's just, I've tried to implement and put him into everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is like the last puzzle piece of like the thing that I was keeping him not a part of.
Right.
He needs to be a part of more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. He should be like, he's, you know,
yeah,
the guiding point in every point in everything in your life.
He really should be and is. Like, I'm just trying to like fit him in everything.
Did you hear that?
Huh? This thing make a noise?
No, it's my stomach.
Oh wait.
Yeah, it was my hernia.
Oh,
it got like stuck and it like popped back in and it went. Yeah,
this thing makes noises like.
You're like, are you hungry? I'm like, no. Right. It's just, you know.
Yeah, it's. But yeah, that's just something I wrote. I mean, a couple weeks, like a month ago or so, I wrote a song that's like big on. That's literally about God. It's about like my relationship, like my finding God.
Yeah.
But I think that like starting to try and see this like new vision for the way the way I want to write and what kind of messages I want to have. And then it's like I'm in the church and I sing worship. Like if I write songs that are good, we can sing them. Like I feel like they would let me sing them there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like it all makes sense.
Right.
It's like when you're an artist and you're trying to like figure out all these things about yourself and how you want to present yourself to like the world. This feels like I'm not trying to create a character. It just feels like I'm naturally showing people me.
Right.
I'm not trying to like create an avatar. I'm just literally sharing.
I don't know if God. You think the same thing. If you know somebody's Christian, right? With you not being a Christian at one point in your life, did you not feel like you had to not act differently in a bad way, but like hold yourself up differently around them, right?
Absolutely. I used to have this friend. I've thought about reaching out to her because she's got kids and stuff and she's married. She's been married forever. But do you remember? Okay, so when I was in Cities, I used to be in this band called Cities. It was my first band. Do you remember me telling you stories about Amanda?
Yeah.
So Amanda was a friend of the band and we actually ended up, crazy story. We didn't have anywhere to practice.
Was she the one that was friend? No, okay, never mind. I know who you're talking about now. Yeah.
So we didn't have anywhere to. This is a cool story, actually. So I'm kind of glad we're getting into this. But we didn't have anywhere to practice back in those days. We all worked jobs. We were night owls, and we used to always get in trouble and get the cops called on us at people's houses for practicing late at night. noise. Obviously,
Right.
people are like, they're throwing a party, but it's really just 5 dudes practicing in their band, and the cops will come and we'd have to stop. We didn't have anywhere to practice, and we kind of were partying a little bit too. Like we were chilling and drinking and stuff. And I remember one night Amanda was like, I have keys to Rent-A-Land. Let's just go in there. You guys bring your stuff. You guys can jam right in Lena. It's a huge open,
right,
like a storage garage.
It is huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about tables and chairs and tents and everything for weddings. And then we're talking about like blow up slides, and it's a huge warehouse. And it's funny enough, we didn't actually practice in the warehouse because it was hot. We practiced in the front where like people came in and they had the wedding stuff set up for display.
I went there for my Sweet 16.
Yeah, and you talked to the person at the desk. We literally practiced there.
They had like the table set up and all.
We moved a couple things around and we practiced there.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Amanda, you said that Amanda has always been very Christian.
Oh yeah.
She was always like the Christian friend who, like, we used to always give her props because she didn't curse. And I remember being around her all the time and being like conscious about my tongue around her. And she was like one of my best friends back in these days. Like, so that's just funny. Like, I've thought about reaching out to her just because she's always been like someone that's super big on faith. But yeah, it's when you're around people like that, you want to.
It's because they're walking in the light of God.
Right.
And that has, even if you not as a Christian, it has such a pull on you that you have respect.
Right.
For
whether you're
consciously realizing you're doing it, you think
you're doing it because you don't want to, you want to be like a better person for that person, but in reality that's God working through that person to show you to be a better person, which is blowing my mind saying it right now, because it's, what did I say last episode? That God has literally always been with me, poking at me like, bro, I know you're it's crazy because like I've always been this person that's super big on like my morals too. Like I was never the person that was out chasing girls or like, the only person I ever hurt in my days was me.
Right.
I've always been super conscious about love. And then I've always been, you my friends.
Necessarily not chasing girls. You were chasing girls, but you were chasing
I never was like the whore guy.
The girl.
Right. Yeah. I was always looking for my girl right here. Always been within 12 miles away from me pretty much, or like 20-mile radius.
Yeah.
And always been Facebook friends with me. But it's so, back to it, bro. He's just always been there.
Yeah.
He knew your boy was supposed to be in the light, and I don't know, singing worship and like sharing, the more that I share it, the more that I realize like how me sharing it is bringing people to it.
Right.
Like Adriano was here.
Yeah.
And I asked him how the band was. He was like, not great. I actually ended up leaving the band.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that sucks, dude. Well, what you got going on? And he was like, well, I saw that you've been, I don't think I'm the reason,
right?
But just like putting it out, the fact that I'm doing worship,
right?
He was like, I'm actually super interested. Like he had a bunch of questions because he was like, I'm super interested in getting involved in worship. And I was like, bro,
do it.
I'll tell you that my music stresses me out, but one thing that never stresses me out and makes me feel the best, worship, bro. Do it. He's like, I'm just trying to find a good church to do it. I was like, go to your church that you already go to and get involved in it and do it, because it's the best feeling in the world.
Right.
So yeah, it's just, I think, he's got like our path. And I think that the more like outwardly that I am with it, the more it's like bringing people in.
Right.
Even like when we were at the party, I'm trying to remember what I said to Jesse, but I said something to him about, it was just about, I think about being positive.
Mm-hmm.
And we were leaving Publix. I don't remember what he said, but I said something back that was like super positive. And he was like, ooh, I like that answer. And I looked at him and I go, don't let me get holy on you, brother. And he just kind of laughed. And I like the fact that I could poke at someone that isn't religious, because my friend's like, he's not religious at all.
No, but Jesse also knows that I'm not judging him, and you're
not
gonna
never. I love him,
and not everything that you're doing comes from love. And sometimes it's best to come from somebody that you've been so close with.
I think I would have gone to Christianity if I was doing it the way that I'm doing it to people.
Right.
I feel like I've also, I don't know if I told you this, but I've been reaching out to friends.
Have you?
Yeah, like I reached out to, so when, if I don't know if I've told this story at all, but I have a tattoo on my arm of a Penn tennis ball. It's not because I play tennis. One of my best friends, Rich, his rap name was Rich Penn. His real name was Pennington. His whole thing was Penn. He passed away. I remember talked about the last episode how I quit drugs and one of my best friends died like a couple weeks later, and how Rich had this friend that he grew up with that I ended up meeting and being friends with, and his name's Anthony.
Yeah, he was at.
His name is. He went by Clyde. Right? Yes, he went by Clyde. He happened to text me about something recently, and he was in that world with us. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought of it. Like when he texted me a couple days later, I was thinking about him for whatever reason, and I just said, "Hey, dude, I don't know if you if you ever want to just come to church, like I'd love to see you there." And he was like, "Oh man, you know what? I've been really thinking about wanting to get back. I've seen you've been doing worship. I really been thinking about going to church." And I was like, "Bro, like just let me know when you have a free Sunday. You're more than welcome to come sit with us. Like just come.
Yeah,
it's an amazing place. Like, and it feels good to do that kind of stuff to people. Like I know that he's had a hard time. I don't know where he is in life right now. I don't know if he's doing great or he could be doing amazing right now. I don't know what's going on in his personal life right now.
Right.
I just felt like this is somebody that had similar issues that I had back in the day. And I know that he was way deeper in it than me. Like he's always just been, so it's like, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to reach out and say, "Hey dude, like," and it was good to see him be like, "Oh, I've actually been thinking about this."
Well, that's, excuse me.
Don't cry again. No. I'm just kidding.
That's something you start to realize too, talking to people when you are so open about your relationship with God. How many people are debating?
Yeah. How many people are on the fence, and then all you got to do is be that smile,
right,
or that right positive energy for them to be like, "Oh man, this is," or they could just see what you're doing and see just see that you're doing the best you can for your life and you're happy about your life, and you're like, they see your gratitude, they see your grace. I
and
guess.
If you are on the fence, like that means God's already working in your life. Working. He's gotten you that far to where you're on the fence.
Yeah.
So like just
the only reason you haven't hopped over is the devil.
Right.
And I know that sounds freaking silly to some people to hear, but that's how he works.
Yeah.
He only has lies. Yeah. So he's getting in your brain and he's telling you that he's making you think, he knows how to
manipulate you.
Yeah, if God wants you to come on in,
it's
not gonna be bad.
No.
What could be bad about it? You know what I mean? It's like what is not positive about having faith?
Right.
Like I just don't understand.
I mean, you got to think. People think about it. But I get it. It's so negative. Like sometimes it's just you got to think about. Like there's jobs that literally require you to do drug tests. They don't want you to do cigarette. They don't. Some companies won't hire somebody if they have smoked cigarettes.
Right.
You know, so like if you're willing to cut certain things out for a paycheck, right? Why wouldn't you cut certain things out for an eternal life? Right. With God, with happiness, there's no depression, there's no, there's no alcoholism, there's no, anxiety, there's nothing bad, it's just pure joy and happiness, and you get to see, God, and it's just supposed to be this amazing, like if you're able to cut things out for a job. You know what I mean? Like if a job's regularly drug tests, you're willing to cut things out of your life for a job, or you're willing to have a persona of this person for social media, for fame, for this.
Right.
Why is it so bad to people to want to cut things out and change their life for God to be, and I think like it's looked at so negatively because it's for God, but I don't really.
Yeah. Like some, Russell Brand said something I listened to this interview, and he like got baptized over the last couple of years, and he's super Christian.
Right.
And he was like, I couldn't think of myself as being the person that was in the Bible all the time, or how am I going to be this person that learns all this new stuff that I've never done before? How could I be someone that relies and prays and does all this stuff in my faith and believes in Jesus and believes in God? How can I be this person? He was like, well, I was a heroin addict, and I didn't have any trouble waking up in the morning and thinking about heroin.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, and when before you were a heroin addict or whatever you're going through, before you were having the issues that you're having now, you never thought that you would wake up in the morning and think about a substance, right, or think about you without even thinking, right, just knowing you need it and going out and doing it,
right,
with whatever you're going through. So how hard is it's not impossible to think that you could turn that into something positive, right, and wake up in the morning every day praising God,
right,
praying, reading the book, learning the word. It's really not that far-fetched.
No, I saw this other girl saying that reading the Bible for her, and it still is hard. Even like when she's listening to an audio book version
I'm having
of it,
a hard time.
I have a hard time because I'm dyslexic. I feel like when it comes to just basically reading, because I am dyslexic and I had anxiety about being dyslexic through school and, adulthood, and like, oh my gosh, reading in, a public atmosphere, even when I'm reading to myself, I get anxiety.
Yeah.
So like it makes it really hard to focus.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
So with reading something that is so impactful, and it's supposed to be impactful, and like it just adds on a whole nother layer. But this girl made a point. She goes, just because you don't think that you're taking it in, just because you can't remember it, the more times that you do it, you'll start to realize you're gaining it.
Yeah.
Like you might in that moment read a paragraph,
right,
and then go to the next paragraph and can't remember anything from that last paragraph.
Weird.
But over time, your brain is going to absorb it regardless, because you are thinking it, you are seeing it, you're reading it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, this video. And it kind of changed the way I thought about reading the Bible, because I think we're talking about the same video, but she says it's Girls Gone Bible, I believe. They're a podcast. And she says, do you remember what you ate last week for breakfast? Mm-hmm. And obviously you don't.
Right.
Did it fulfill you?
Right.
Did it nourish you?
Right. Right.
So if you don't remember what you read in the Bible today, it doesn't mean that it's not nourishing you. It doesn't mean that it's not keeping you on track. It doesn't mean that you're not taking it in just because you can't remember. And that was like, oh,
right.
That's relieving, because there's so much going on. There's so many names. There's so many places. I'm ignorant to geology. Like I don't even know all the states off the top of my head. Right. I don't know where they're located. Don't know what's in the Midwest. I know what's in the East Coast because I've been up and down it so many times, but it's still confusing to me. So hearing about Israel and all these different types of people, and you know what I'm saying? It's all a lot to me. And I'm not the most educated book smart person.
Right.
So a lot of the names I'm like having trouble like pronouncing, or even some of the words I'm having trouble pronouncing. So it is hard reading the Bible sometimes.
Right.
But hearing that and saying, okay, I could take some pressure off and just say, you know what? I love God. I love Jesus. Even if I'm having trouble taking in some of it, and it takes me a little longer to get through the book of Matthew and to get through the books that I'm reading, it took me forever to get through Genesis. Like, just because it takes a little bit longer for me to soak it in,
right,
and I might have to reread chapters to really bring it in,
right,
who cares?
Right. I mean,
I'm not like it's
read
not
their
like,
Bible over and over and over again.
Exactly.
So like it's not. That's why I do like the audiobook Bible when I'm on my way to work.
Yeah.
I love it on my way to work because I can actually like
I
can't zone out completely because I'm driving, and I like kind of stay focused on it better that way. Now, if I try to listen to it and I'm like parked in the parking lot, I'll like try to close my eyes and I can't do it because I'm like wanting to read it and like hear it and like take it in. I end up going elsewhere in my brain.
Yeah.
And I'm gone.
I can't do the audio, but I think that the audio versions that I've found of it thus far, and I think it's literally just the voices. Like I can't.
Have you tried the one that's on the Bible one?
Yes, I have.
I say that one doesn't bother me.
But what I realized recently, I didn't like the apps reading on the apps. But the other day, last night, I opened up the Bible Project and started reading the Bible on the Bible Project app. And I don't know what it is about how it's maybe like
smaller.
I don't know what it is, but I like reading it on there. And I wasn't enjoying reading it anywhere else but physically the pages. Right. Like I wanted my book physically in my hand. But it's hard to find time to grab a book but it's a lot easier for me to be in the cut with my phone and be like, all right, I can get off TikTok for a second. Let me open the Bible app and just read it for a little bit.
I really want to like get like an older, like a Bible that's, I guess, technically used for like older people with bad eyesight.
Bigger.
Have
you seen the one on TikTok that people have been showing?
Eyes are so bad.
Yeah.
For like up close. That's another reason why it makes it hard for me to read my Bible, because I'm like, okay, you know, I'm like, I'm wearing my glasses and they're still
I've been literally just like, and it's probably just me putting like pressure on myself or something, but I've been having trouble putting whatever I'm doing down and physically grabbing my Bible.
Right.
And I was telling myself, like, I don't like reading the app. I don't like listening to it, because I feel like my brain goes other places. The time I'm most focused is when I physically I can hear the pages turn. I can feel the pages. It's like a physical thing.
Before, and we said we're going to start doing, we still haven't, to like read the Bible at night together.
Yeah.
Like we don't necessarily have to be like, I'm on this chapter, on the show. Like taking like 10 minutes out, sit next to each other.
Yeah.
I read where I'm at in the Bible. You're reading where you're at in the Bible, and we're trying to like we're together. We're keeping each other focused.
Every day since we've talked about it.
I know, and then like afterwards, closing the Bible, let's having our prayer and like you know, and then or just maybe not having our prayer, right? Maybe having discussions about what's going on with us and what we're and then also what we're like needing, not necessarily from each other, but just like needing. And this is what I think. I need to pray for, like in our prayer together. This is what I need a prayer for.
Prayer journals too. A lot of people do prayer journals.
I have one. I just haven't.
We all have them.
Do you have one?
Use them. Yeah, we got them from church.
No,
the little black books.
I got.
Oh, you literally have a really nice prayer journal. Yeah, I think. Yeah, we should start doing it.
Yeah, because I pray every night by myself, and it's just like
I've been praying with the baby.
Yeah.
But we haven't been praying together. I think I pray every night.
And I think we should pray as a family more, like pray with Mariah more. I try to like do prayers in the morning on the way to school with her. But a lot of times our mornings are very stressful.
Yeah. We had a couple hard days.
Which is probably why we why we need to pray.
We need to like center ourselves.
Yeah.
I did it the first day of school.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is something I need to do. But it's like, it's something we need to do together, and it's so silly that I literally walk out the front door, sit in the car, and the first thing I do when I sit in the car, I turn that key on and I say, all right, good morning, Lord. Like, dear Heavenly Father,
right?
I pray that my babies get to school today. Okay, I pray that the baby has an amazing day. I pray that all stress is lifted from my wife today. I pray that the pain of her hernia doesn't overwhelm her. I pray that Mammy and Papa have an amazing day. I pray whatever, my mom was just moving, I pray the move goes well. I just pray for the people I love.
Right.
And I love you so much, Lord. Thank you so much, Lord. I'm so gracious. Or the gratitude, I'm so grateful for everything we have. I say these things every day the moment I walk out the front door.
Right.
Like I just got to get better at saying
it
with it. I know.
Too. Yeah, because like those prayers, Mariah hearing that, she's being prayed for, sometimes that like touches a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I used to pray with her every night when she was younger, and it's become like, and it is a private thing sometimes. A prayer is such like a,
Yeah, but it doesn't mean you can't do it as a family and then still go have your private prayer.
I think like I
think that's better. The more times you're praying a day is probably better.
For
bro.
Sure.
Like,
back to my grandmother. Like that's one of the things. Like I remember, like if it was raining too hard, she'd pull over and we'd all pray.
Right.
we just had our meal. We're about to go into the mall, and we're having a quiet minute. It's time to pray.
Right.
I
had a day where the day I did the rock at work, there's been this like project I had to do at work that I've kind of been dreading because the first day I did it was that day I had a really bad day, and I was so sleepy that day, and when I'm sleepy, I'm just like not 100% me. I'm like groggy and like grumpy. I am that guy. Yeah. I'm the guy that like you give the that's a shark, and then you give the Snickers and he's back to happy him. But before he had the Snickers, he was a jerk. And not like I wasn't being a jerk. I just felt like blah.
Yeah.
But I made sure I might have prayed later that day because I wasn't you know what I'm saying? But praying that day, wake up, take your time. Ended up going easy. I got the rock done in like an hour and a half, and I was like, felt great afterwards. I might have been a little sleepy, but I think that it's just no matter what, if you do it, it just makes your day better. Yep. God. So yeah, guys, listen. Hey, is there anything else we need to talk about? I wrote the stuff down in the phone, but the phone films us, so. Well, my knee's on display.
I don't think so. So we have a 2-year-old. Oh, good. Hello, everybody.
Hello, guys. I gotta pee.
We have a 2-year-old. We're gonna have a 14-year-old in October,
and we got one on the way. We finally can tell you.
Yes, we'll be having a baby early February. I'm sorry. Yeah, early February or late January.
We got a winter baby.
Yeah, because I had that with C-section this time, and I do have gestational diabetes again.
Yep.
So most likely I will deliver 2 weeks prior to my due date, but it all depends on when my actual due date is. So
right. We're still trying to nail down exactly
I think
when.
We had February 3rd from the doctor.
Our actual doctor, yeah.
And I originally thought it was going to be January 22nd, I think it was, or something like that, 23rd. So it wasn't too far off. And then when we went for this ultrasound, like we said, she said she was guessing that we were closer to what I thought we were.
Right.
So I'm leaning towards more that she's right because I'm usually right.
Right. You are always right. Yeah, guys, thanks for chilling with us. Sorry we had to take a little break for the extra week, but we had a lot going on. We appreciate you guys. I hope you're enjoying the faith talk. We had a family member actually reach out about this, and they were like super proud that we're going to meet with them tomorrow to like kind of chill and catch up. Yeah. But they're very religious. They're super like they are super happy to hear about our
it's crazy though because like how you feel about certain people and like you're maybe not necessarily super close with them anymore. Like you don't get to see them, you don't even text them that often. But like you think about them very often
all the time,
and you like love them and like regardless of how long it's been between talking, they're like just in that core.
You still have that bond.
Yeah, that bond.
And when it's like those people that like no matter how much time has gone past, you get together and it's like no time has passed. You definitely get that with you too.
Yeah.
And then me and her husband love each other. Yeah. So and it's funny how God can do these things.
And it's just like what she wrote was just so like,
oh, it made me feel so good.
No, like of course you always think when you're together, you think, okay, this person definitely thinks of me the way I think of them, and I love them. But
to see
what she wrote, it just like really touched my heart and made me like very happy.
And this is something that we talk. She said she listened to the podcast early on.
Yeah.
And I remember you being like, ooh, my family's listening to us.
Yeah.
And it's like, but now it's kind of like, I think we're in the right stride. I think we're talking about the right things. Right. We're just being us and we're comfortable and we're in the right path. And I think that now when she sent the message.
And when you cringe about something that people are listening to, it's probably, not necessarily all of our podcast stuff was stuff that like not things that I'd be proud of, but like.
Yeah, I was talking about poop and stuff a lot.
Yeah, that grossed me out. But
and we cussed all the time.
Yes.
First season is BCS, guys.
Yeah.
Watch us growth. Go. The episodes are still great. I love them. We have fun. And we're still the same people.
I'm just saying,
just less cuss words and more faith.
I would not cringe at anybody that I knew listening to this.
Right. Listen to what we're talking about the last few weeks.
Yeah.
The last couple episodes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because all we're talking about is what we love.
Our family and
our
God.
family and God. And I think that, like, going back to 3 episodes ago, the first episode of the season, where I was like trying to, like, we talked about what niche we want to be in. I think God is leading us everywhere we need to be. Well, that's the one
thing you're like, I don't know if I want to lean into, like, us being
theme parks
into church and everything like that. And I was like, well, I mean, that's.
Yeah, and I even said it. I was like, I don't want to be like sit here. I didn't want to talk about church that much. Like, why not, doofus? Yeah. Lean into it. How did you feel in those days? I felt like crap.
Right.
And how do I feel when I get off of this podcast? Other than the fact that I really got to go to the bathroom because I've been drinking this, and I drank half of your Taco Bell Mountain Dew Blast, and I drank my own Mountain Dew Blast. Other than that, I feel great. I was sleepy before we got on here. Now I could go for hours. You guys want to go another episode?
I mean, I could still take a go sleep.
Yeah, we go sleep. Yeah. So, yeah, I think we're on the right path.
Yeah.
And if you guys, I'm sorry if this isn't what you want to hear, but this is just what we're talking about.
Yeah.
This is what we are. This is what we believe. I hope that maybe us talking about it may bring some questions up to people that maybe want to. Just like with the worship,
they're on the fence.
Like if you're on the fence, come on in. You got any questions? We'll try and help. Yeah. And if I can't answer any questions, I got plenty of people who can, baby. Pastor Joe Pudding will put you on. Code Bear will put you on.
What did you just call him? Pudding?
His last name is Pudding.
What?
Joe Pudding.
No.
Yes, it is.
That fits him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
No. He is. No, not like
pudding,
that.
like the food.
Like he's like this. Like
he's putting you on, baby.
No, he's like this corny dad joke guy.
Oh, he's amazing.
And just like his last name being put in, just
right.
I don't know.
You didn't hear it like pudding?
No.
Pudding.
No. Okay, I just thought like that last name kind of was fits like him?
Yeah. These guys are. I haven't honestly spent enough time.
Pudding.
I thought you were like making a joke.
No.
I haven't spent a lot of time with them, but our pastors have been super embracive. And super like making me feel at home. And these are guys like that I looked at sitting and looking at them, and they really are like bringing that light to me for the first time ever. So they were kind of like this big thing to me at first. The band didn't scare me that much.
It's funny with Mariah too. She kind of looks at them almost like they're famous.
She does. She treats everybody in worship like they're a rock star, and I love it. She's like, "Can we go talk to? Can we go talk to Deidre today? Is Jensen there today? Can we go talk to Jensen?
Yeah,
talk to Jensen today too." She said the same thing. Got to get our families together.
Yeah, but I'm just but like I was saying with Mariah, like it's. Once again, with that back to like when you're being around people that are so like in the light of God, and like the your pastor is like walking and showing you. He's supposed to be like, I mean, and that's not in every church, but like they're supposed to like really like show you the way, live the life, so you can like see it, and you just see it through them. And everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has bad days. Everybody, But like, so I think that's why, like, she's like seeing them as like these
big figures.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
You only see them on a stage and on a screen for us.
I don't know how to put it, but it's just like, I can't even think of
the other. Go ahead. Sorry.
I know it's okay. I can't think of what passage in the Bible is talking about, but like, yeah, I don't know. But it's sweet to see it because she's just like, oh, they're so amazing. It's like they love God, and she sees that, and she's like,
they made me the most nervous at first, but didn't even talk about this with you, and I'll keep it short because we are closing up. But the other morning, Sunday morning of last time I did worship, me and Joe were the first people there. So actually, yeah, it was. I went out. Obviously Charles and Melanie are there.
Yeah.
But none of the other worship guys were there. Chris had just gotten there, so Chris sets up all the iPads and stuff and like does all that stuff, starts setting stage up. So when he's doing that, I was like, I don't really want to be out there like bothering him. So I went to go sit back on the couch, and the only people that were in the room were me and Joe.
Oh, okay.
And it's just like nice to be personal with that person that's like teaching you so much.
Right.
When I'm watching on stage, he was kind of like this bigger they baptize me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whether they remember or not, they do 100 people every month, probably
Right.
like hundreds of people all the time. And I even had to tell Code that, like when we first met, and he was like, what's your name? And I was like, Brian. And he was like, man, your voice, and like being super encouraging. I was like, you actually, you baptized me.
Right.
He was like, really? And I was like, yeah. So he's always been like, I like them both all so much. I admire them so much. And just to see them be like,
right,
good job. Like Code, his family last Sunday, he did like small. Remember, Joe was on video, and Code was doing that small thing in the beginning. Talked about the shoebox thing to bring in, and then he was like Sunday. He was like, I'm super excited to watch worship. My family's going to be here on Sunday at this time. So I'm actually getting off and going out and watching you guys. He's like, I'm super excited to see worship today. And it was like, and that one weekend we did, when I did the Hallelujah song, Hallelujah Here Below, and we went into Firm Foundation, he was just like, you guys are so powerful this weekend. Like, and that just feels
amazing.
It feels so good.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, guys, love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We tried to close it up.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel great about what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I feel good about it all.
I do too.
I love you very much.
I love you.
We love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. If you're listening on the podcast apps, give us a review. Shoot the stars up to 5 or 4. Or if you don't like Christianity, give us a 1.5 star. No. You hater. And I'm just kidding. No. And if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe.
Yep.
We love you very much. We hope you guys have an amazing week. Happy Monday. Kill it this week. Don't know if the intro song's in this episode. We're going to find out when I go to throw it up. And hopefully the video does well. I believe it does. I believe it will.
Yes, it will.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know if I ended it.